Thank you for joining us on the sports, and we begin with some interesting news. Former Ghanaian athlete and the organizer of Ghana's fastest, Rex Broby, has today paid a courtesy call on the President Nana Akufo-Addo at the Jubilee House to discuss issues relating to athletics, on how to prove the sport and bring Ghana back to its glory days. The President, on his part, also responded, and when addressing the group, promised to make athletics the center of focus for development.
I'm very sensitive to the plea about doing something for past athletes, because I know how much glory, honor, renown you brought to our country because of your efforts. Nobody will ever forget the Commonwealth 4x100 gold effort that my good friend Okoade and Mike Ahe and the others brought to Ghana, and the various exploits of Alice Anum, Hannah Afriye, Ohene Karekare himself, and then Emmanuel Tufo. All of that was lifting high the image of our nation. And we have to thank you for that, the work that you did in the past. And it's important that this generation of Ghanaians also come to appreciate it. And that's why I'm very supportive of the work that Rex Broby is doing. Not only planning for the future, but awakening our people's consciousness about the past and about the time when we were a major force in world athletics. Today, you wouldn't believe it when you read about athletics in the world. You hear about Jamaica, you hear about Nigeria, you hear about Kenya, and Uganda, and Ethiopia, but you don't hear, and increasingly now you hear about South Africa too, but you don't hear about Ghana. And really the time has come for us to do something about it. Athletics has not been on the radar of sports administration in this country for a long time, but I'm determined to bring it back. Discussions that we've been having with Isiama and the sports authorities made it very clear that we need to bring athletics back to the center of focus of sports development in Ghana. We were there at the very beginning of our life as a nation, and we can be there again. And your presence here is an indication to this generation of Ghanaians what is possible. So we have to then to grasp it.
To football now, and for those of you who were thinking and hopeful that Ghana football will come back pretty soon, there's been a bit of a blow. You might have remembered, or you may remember that at the start of this week, we did say that the Ghana Premier League clubs and also the Normalization Committee were to have a meeting to start a competition at the 26th of January. Well, they did have a meeting, and we thought it was going to be settled today, but the 16 Premier League clubs have issued a statement that they will boycott the Normalization Committee's special competition, and here is why.
At the moment, Benedict, we have withdrawn from the special competition at the moment. So we have withdrawn from the special competition at the moment, and that is where we are. We are hopeful that we have not totally, shut the door. We are still available for more discussion with the Normalization Committee. We think that if it must be done, it must be done well. The nitty-gritty, they are aware. You've given them the table. They know everything already.
Are you sure it's just the format you guys are talking about, or there's something else we don't know?
Well, the format is the principal actor in all this discussion. It's the principal reason why. It's the format, the structure. That is all.
It's not about money.
Money is always an issue. Our focus really is about the structure and the format. That's our focus, and that is why, if you read our press release, there was no mentioning of money, because we do know that money is always an issue. So we don't even need to tabulate those ones in this press release.
Okay.
So it's about the structure, the format, and we think that we will not rush into a competition simply because we must play football. We will not do that. If in the past Premier League teams, we are the elite football clubs, the elite football teams in Ghana, it is important that we make a very salient point and they make a very pronounced statement to the Ghanaian people that going forward, we are going to have a larger say on how things work. Because we are the major protagonists in all this.
Okay, Akoto, finally, so per your statement, all the 16 Premier League clubs have agreed to this.
Everybody has agreed. Thank you very much.
Right. Still in football, and at the end of the normalization committee, one of the key things that they are supposed to do is to organize GFE elections, and I'm sure you know that, which means that we will need to have people to contest to become the new GFA president. Today I spoke to one of them. Former GFA Vice President Fred Papo has declared his intention to contest, and he's spoken about his ambition.
I've been a football person ever since I could walk. Our football has gone where it doesn't have to go, but I believe it can come back to where it has to be and where we would want it to be beyond that. People are contributing towards doing that. We have a number of people sacrificing in different ways. We have the normalization committee, we have Premier League Class Division 1. So many people are doing different things. I believe with my experience and the opportunities I've had to lead football, I still believe I have a lot to offer. With my integrity, my knowledge, and my commitment and passion, I believe if I'm there, I can offer a lot to make a difference towards the crusade we have all embarked on.
Well said. However, there are likely to be people who are going to contest against you. What would you say are your selling points that people should look at? Or in this case, I mean, the people who would vote for you should look at ahead of anybody else?
Definitely, there should be people who would also be interested in the position. If nobody is interested, I have to look twice at myself that am I normal, So it's good people have come up, and people will come up, definitely. I think talking about selling points, I'll say I've had the experience, I've had the exposure to operate at the presidency at that high level for quite a lot of time. I'll say that ever since this new system was created, I was the first ever vice president, and for that matter, I can also proudly say that I was the only one out of, 3 or 4 vice presidents who ran the full term successfully, and then even stayed on the executive committee after that to offer my experience. So definitely I have the experience and the exposure. In terms of knowledge of the game, I wouldn't want to be boastful. I think it's clear for all to see. I have the passion, and I think I have the right work ethics, fairness, independence of mind, the ability to listen and then accommodate divergent views. And I believe with the grace of God, I can do what I'll set out to do.
You can get the full interview on the football show today at 10:30. In the CAF Confederations Cup, Asante Kotoko have left Ghana for Cameroon as they look to face Cotton Sport on the 13th of January. The communications director of the club is Samuel Safuduku.
Yes, I believe that we've done the best that we could. Especially our last match against Ashgold benefited us a lot because it gave the coach the chance to look out for the loopholes. I'm very much confident that by now he's been able to fill those loopholes. Going into this game, we expect an improved game over there. I don't think there's pressure on them. Rather, I see them to be highly motivated. As you can see from their faces, they are looking up to the game. They are well prepared, they are well determined, and the spirit is very high. So we are not looking out for any other thing than a good scoreline that will render the second leg a mere formality. Looking at the experiences that we had in our previous game against Kariobangi, this time around we want to kill the game in the first leg, because in Kenya we had every opportunity to have won the match. I think the boys were solely headed with a draw, but back home at Babayara we struggled a lot. Our supporters were sitting on tentacles. We want to avoid that, so we are going for a win in the first leg, so that the second leg will be a mere celebration.
So, Premier League football also is available this weekend, and let's take a look at the fixtures for this weekend, shall we? It's going to be pretty good. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to face his first real test. That will be against Spurs on Sunday at 4:15 Ghana time. But before then, tomorrow there will be West Ham, Arsenal, Brighton, Liverpool, Leicester, Southampton, Burnley, Fulham, Palace, Watford, Cardiff, Huddersfield, Chelsea, Newcastle, Everton Bournemouth begin on Sunday, and then Man City versus Wolves is also something we should be looking at. In La Liga as well, Real Madrid look like they are not interested in winning the title, but certain others are. Leganés Huesca will be tomorrow. Valencia Valladolid, Girona versus Alaves, who are flying. Villarreal Getafe, Atleti Levante, Bilbao Sevilla, Barcelona Eibar, Real Betis, Real Madrid, and Real Sociedad Espanyol will finish it all on Monday. Like I said, the full interview with Fred Papo is at 10:30 on the Football Show. Join us for that one. Throughout the weekend, we'll have more on myjoyonline.com and on Joy FM. I'm Gary Al Smith, and that's the sport for now.